SIG HYP.
The most durable AR-10 on the planet.
This thing shoots real soft. This is really, really good.
We've taken things and lessons that we've learned from a lot of our other products like the Spear, and we've incorporated some of those features into this gun.
Directly compared to the Spear, of course.
Just as soft, if not softer, than a lot of the AR-10s out there in 308. Hashtag the hype is real.
Welcome back to Class Farms, guys. Kai over here with Jason.
What's going on, folks?
And we've got our friend from SIG Sauer, Josh, over here with us here in Epping, New Hampshire. And obviously we're doing the SIG Next event, 2025. And we've got this brand new product from SIG. It's called SIG HYP. We'll find out if the hype is real, and Josh is going to tell us all about it. With that being said, Josh, thanks for having us, and tell us all about this thing, man.
Hashtag the hype is real. So the hype is a 6.8 DI gun. So what we set out to do was make the most durable AR-10 on the planet. You know, a couple things that make it the most durable AR-10 planet. Obviously, building out to shoot that 80 KSI, 6.8 high performance ammunition. You know, that goes over into when you're shooting conventional 7.62 in a 7.62 variant of this. Obviously, you get some durability improvements just because of what it's built for, right? It's built for the max, right? So that is the biggest, you know, advantage of this. I know that 6.8, right now there's a little bit of a barrier of entry into that 6.8 with some higher price point guns being the Spear. The idea behind this is to come up with, you know, a little lighter weight option, a little lower cost option to get into that 6.8 and high performance ammunition. Some of the awesome features about this hype. So we have a direct impingement system here, but you do have some adjustability in your gas valve, so you can tune that depending on what suppressor you're running. You can tune that up. That's a big thing on AR-10s. Everybody wants to be able to tune to what ammo, what suppressor, what their configuration is. You can have that adjustability. And some of the other nice things as we go back on the gun, what makes it different than most AR-10s is we've taken things and lessons that we've learned from a lot of our other products like the Spear, and we've incorporated some of those features into this gun. So I'll go ahead and flip this around and I'll show you on this side. One of the awesome things we've got is we've got this cam path insert. So that cam path insert that you see here, on most AR-10s, you have a steel cam pin wearing on an aluminum receiver, right? Steel wins in that battle every time, and you're gonna wear out your receiver. You get some of that gouging in your receiver. That can cause reliability issues as the gun starts to run too fast. So what we want to do is say, hey, look, let's put steel on steel. I don't want to make my whole receiver out of steel and make it stupid heavy, but let's put steel where it matters. So now you've got that steel on steel contact. It's also replaceable, so your receiver life goes way up. You won't wear that receiver in. And then you've got the same thing on your feed ramp insert. So you can kind of see it right down here. You've got a feed ramp insert. So that helps with the feed as well as not wearing, you know, in your receiver too much. We've got full ambidextrous controls, so the ambi bolt catch that everybody's come to know and love on our MCX platform, as well as our Spear platform, and a lot of our M400s. So fully ambidextrous controls. Really what I think, you know, the heart of this gun, what makes it so special and different than a lot of AR-10s. You guys have shot this thing, you know, when you're talking 6.8, which is like Magnum cartridge performance, and an AR-10, a lot of, you know, your first assumption would be that gun's gonna thump, right? But it shoots very smooth for high performance ammunition, shoots, you know, just as soft, if not softer than a lot of the AR-10s out there in 308. The biggest reason that we're able to do that is on the inside of the weapon system, we have what we call our firing pin safety lock. So it's very similar to what you see on the MCX LT with that latch, and it's a spring-loaded firing pin. And I know it kind of seems like, okay, what's the point of that? But what that does is unlock a lot of awesome stuff. So AR-10s have a problem notoriously with what they call a slam fire. So, right, you load around in a chamber, you drop your mag, and you send your bolt home. That firing pin has enough inertia that it goes ahead and sets off the primer. So the way the industry has always overcome that, everybody's overcome that on AR-10s. Well, the only way to do it is to lighten up the spring on the carrier, right? So you're not sending that carrier as fast. Well, that does a couple negative things for you. One, your reliability. You don't have a whole lot of energy going forward, and now I'm going to eat that on the recoil, right? So it thumps. So now with that firing pin lock, what we're able to do is properly spring this gun.
Right.
So now that it's proper, you know, has a heavy enough spring back there and buffer, you can go ahead and you get a much softer shooting AR-10, and your reliability is so much better because there's so much more spring force feeding that round into the chamber.
Yeah.
So it's more reliable than anything else out there.
So I shot this thing, and me and Jason actually, we're like, wait a minute. First of all, even if it recoiled as much as a regular AR-10, which is a 308 cartridge, 7.62x51, I'd be like, oh wow, this is incredible. But it actually recoils less than a 7.62x51 AR-10s that I have fired. This includes the SR-25, which is an awesome gun, right? And we were all like scratching our heads. We're like, how the heck is that possible? It really is for the cartridge, which screams out of here like about 300 feet per second faster than a 7.62x51, and yet it thumped less. Now you explain that to me, and now it makes sense to me. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, man. So they've really bind together like ingenuity and what was the problem. They've really solved that. So, I mean, again, kudos to you guys for actually fixing the tuning on this and just making it work. Of course, incorporating the hybrid casing, man, 6.8x51, solid. Again, solid shooter, soft shooter, softer than what you know and better than the rest. So,
yeah, incredible. It's seriously, guys, this thing, it recoils less than an AR-10, which made no sense to me up until now. So thanks, Josh.
Secrets,
all right.
Pull back the curtain. Secrets revealed.
There you go. The magician just revealed the secrets. There you go. All right, so you know what? I got a question. It's a DI gun, right?
Yep.
Why didn't you guys go with piston system?
Yeah, so I think a lot of that has to do with weight, right? Piston guns, they're very nice. We love our piston guns, but pistons add, weight, cost, and complexity. And our focus on that gun, to be honest, we have a piston gun, right? We have the Spear. So we kind of already had a gun in that category, but where we felt like we were missing in the product portfolio is that lighter weight, a little bit more accessible, a price point gun. So the DI is really what drove that.
And there's a lot of diehard DI fans out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, so that's good. All right, so 16-inch in this case, right?
Yep, 16-inch, yep.
Any other barrel lengths?
Yeah, so right now we're focusing on our 16-inch, and then we'll focus on the other caliber, so 7.62, 6.5 Creedmoor. We've already got roadmaps. You guys know SIG.
Yep.
You know we don't just stop here.
Yep.
So we've already got roadmaps. You can expect to see longer lengths, shorter lengths coming out in the future. 13-inch.
And FDE.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just saying.
We'll keep growing on it, right? You know us. We expand our product families quite a bit, so definitely be on the lookout for more to come.
Perfect. So we're gonna shoot it now, guys. You guys are gonna watch us shoot this thing. But last question will be, you don't have to give me anything exact, just a ballpark price point.
Yeah.
If you have any. If
Yeah.
not,
Yeah, so I think it'll be, a little over the $2,000 price mark, but under the $2,500 price mark, somewhere in that window.
that's actually a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah,
Right?
I
I
know.
said we want to make it more accessible out there in the market. So, when you talk about looking at competitor AR-10s, that's the ballpark price range, but you get a lot more performance out of this gun at a similar price point.
That is so freaking cool. All right, Jason, what do you think, man? You want to shoot this thing?
let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, let's get to shooting.
Again, for it being 6.8, this thing literally just recoils like a regular 308 gun. It's so soft. It's so soft. Now to directly compare it to the Spear, of course.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
I have to be honest. The HYP is softer. Could be just due to operating system. Of course, the inertia just rolling straight back. This being more captured like that AR-18, so everything is right here, so it kind of bounces in the middle of the receiver. But this thing's very well. Flows all the way back, all the way forward. Solid to go. So definitely, man. Kai?
Now the Spear. Yeah, you know what? 6.8 to 6.8. HYP is softer slightly, but I thought HYP was going to be much softer, but they're a little bit closer. But HYP is definitely felt better, maybe because of that buffer system. But Spear also shot good. But hey, man, I'm really biased towards Spear too, because I own a 13-inch SPR. Love that thing. But overall, for the price point,
It's worth the hype.
it's definitely worth the hype. Recoil's a lot better. I mean, compared to the Spear, but it does recoil a lot better when it comes to a regular AR-10.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Your regular AR-10, which
We're
is a
talking
308.
SR25. We're talking
Yeah.
MR762. Like, way better.
Exactly. So here, the crazy thing, about 300 feet per second more, screaming around, yet recoils less than a 7.62x51. Fantastic. The price point, you know, under $2,500, over $2,000, under $2,500 for this guy. Come on, guys, you can't beat that. So I think hashtag hype is real. However, I gotta say this, and I told this to the SIG guys. 277 Fury, obviously the civilian version, the 6.8 by 51. The ammo costs a lot of money. That's why when we were talking to Josh, we're like, hey man, any other calibers? Because average folks like us, we're gonna need it. I get it, you know what? The price point of the gun is really good for you to get into that 6.8 game, but the ammo is unfortunately still at its infancy stages when it comes to market adaptability. Costs a lot of money. That's the only downside to this gun. The ammo costs a lot of money. Different calibers, awesome. Or somehow the ammo price go down, fantastic.
I'm with it, man.
All right, so guys.